Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We are with Alice Who for our part 2 into looking at 2025 through the career astrology lens. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, Alice, let's dive in to the year ahead because a lot of us have questions. We've already in January experienced a rocky start to the year, and we have to have hope that the year ahead is going to be looking real good for us. So what are some general themes you see in the year ahead that we all need to know regardless of our zodiac sign?
Of course. And I think like each year it's like how you make it, your perspective, right? Like you can't control the things that happen to us, but we can control how we react to them. So this year, it's all about embracing change. Most of us don't like change.
And people don't like that. We just did a
Yeah.
whole episode on this because people are so afraid of growth and expansion.
Yes. And I think letting go of control, I think a lot of the plans that we have for ourselves will not go as planned. That's okay. That's okay, because there can be a lot of interesting things that happen. I like to say miracles happen every day.
Oh, I love that frequency.
Miracles happen every single day. And so we're moving away from kind of like doing just to do, kind of just being on autopilot and kind of like martyrdom of just like being like, well, I have to do this. Like I have to stay in this job to support my family, or I have to stay in this job for another reason, right? And we are stepping towards a place that is much more like creative and free flowing. Like this is the year where like crafting will explode. Like people won't know why, but all of a sudden, like, you know, Etsy companies that do like a paint by numbers or like a needlepoint or something, like, wow, orders are really coming in. And I think that creative hobbies are a way to de-stress, to activate your intuition, and to find more creativity and flow in your life. Because those are some of the big lessons that we are embarking on over the next like 18 plus months. We're also tapping into intuition. We're learning to embody the words trust and faith. Trust and faith is going to be huge words to focus on for the year ahead. Trusting yourself, listen to your intuition. Sometimes it doesn't make sense in the moment. You're just like, you know, I think it's time to like leave this home, leave this city, or I don't think I should be in this job anymore. And things are like going really well. Then you find out in 6 months, there's like a huge layoff or like a huge scandal. And you kind of like, we're not embroiled in it. Sometimes the intuitive hits that we all can get don't make sense, but they always lead us in the right direction. And I want to remind everyone that everybody has like intuition. And when we focus on cultivating intuition, it becomes a psychic gift. It's like you hear things, you see things, you feel things before they kind of happen. But really, it's just about understanding and feeling into like the probabilities of things. At a certain moment in time, there's a higher chance and a higher probability that you will go on path A than path like D. But you can go on path D at any time, but it's just like higher probability. So I think that's what people are learning, like stepping into the unknown. I know like everybody's like, we're on a roll. We're kind of like normalizing.
It's so scary.
It is scary.
It's scary because if you don't listen to your intuition, my theory is always it just keeps getting louder and louder.
And a lot of times, and I've experienced it, you get like an injury.
Oh.
Like I have fractured my tailbone
Absolutely.
twice. I got a kick in the ass from the universe twice.
But that's what happens. I feel like I say it's like God slapping me upside the head.
Yeah.
It's like a shocker comes,
Yeah.
but you were given all of those warning signs or intuitive hits, and you chose to ignore it. And then you get slapped upside the head or something really drastic happens.
Spiritual awakening is a huge theme for this year too. And we can kind of guess what would make you go through a spiritual awakening. For most of us, it's not just going to be like on a Monday, you're like, you know what? I'm about ready to start embarking on this path of self-discovery. It's usually something like you lose a job, you lose someone in your life, there's a catastrophe, there's a crisis, there's something that's destabilizing. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to mitigate that as much as possible, which is why like the things that I've been recommending over the last like year, sometimes like people are like, you know, creative hobbies. How is that? Creative hobbies. That is going to be very helpful.
Yeah.
mindfulness, journaling, like anything that allows you to like process your feelings and to just like really sharpen that like internal, like innate knowing and innate wisdom.
I love that. And so, for example, if you have a person who's in a corporate job, like we've been, I can't leave my corporate job right now.
Yeah.
But what can I do if there is something I'm super passionate about? Like, what can I do in terms of like, feeling a little bit more fulfilled in my life if I
Yeah.
can't immediately leave this for financial reasons?
know.
Or that's what, is so tough sometimes because
It is.
some of us are able to live out our dreams, and then there's others that are like, I can't wait, but I can't leave this job right now. And how can we help
I get it.
those people?
I get it. When I left a job opportunity before starting on this business, like I had pretty much an offer to be a chief of staff at like a marketing agency. And it was very flattering because the guy was like, I think you'd be really, really good at this since you've had your own business before, because I had an e-commerce business before that, like a lot of different things. And I was like, wow, this is like really interesting. And then I was just like, I don't know if I like do this, I don't think I'm gonna have time for the first iteration of a business woo-woo company. Where they like, like spiritual, holistic wellness events. I just knew that for myself. That was a different climate about like 6 years ago or so. Now what I recommend to all my clients is just like, you gotta get your mind right. Like focus on your mindset, because it's like just as worse to be financially unstable.
Absolutely.
It's like you get, and then you can't create. Then everything you sell is like, if I don't sell something, then I won't be able to pay rent, or I won't be able to like eat, like whatever it may be. And so I want people to be really smart. And if you have a corporate job and you don't have like enough savings to last you 6 to 12 months of just figuring things out, you're going to need to make sacrifices. And that's something that has been very hard for me over the course of building this business to like kind of reconcile and to understand. But over the last like few years, I've been like, this is what it really means. You have to do things differently from your peers, your friends, your family. You have to make sacrifices. You're not going to be able to go to the bar. You're not going to be able to maybe go to that Pilates class or that bachelorette or that wedding, because there's something bigger that you are working on for the long term rather than like the short term. You will not have as much free time. You will not be as present in certain people's lives, especially if you're kind of having a corporate job and doing something on the side. Right. But it's like, it's something that you're really interested in. So it's like, you have to give yourself that opportunity. So you're going to be a little bit more tired. Discipline is going to be crucial. And I have done the juggle myself. I have clients doing the juggle like right now, and it's really challenging. And I always tell them that, your career path is really non-linear. So to be kind to yourself. The best thing you can do is to get organized, right? Wake up early. Find time any moment,
I
minute.
tell people that. I'm in the 5 a.m. club. I wake up at 5 a.m. or earlier.
You're just going to be tired. Things aren't going to be done like 110% correctly, but they're going to get done. And you have to be okay with things just getting done. And you have to also deal with some guilt. In my life currently, I feel like I have not given enough to my boyfriend, my dogs, like my sister, like my friends. I feel like I am not doing enough for anybody, even my business. I'm like, it's just so many things to juggle. So if you are someone who's in their corporate job, make sure that you recognize that and be grateful for what you have.
Absolutely.
Be grateful for what you have. Make it work for you. Find ways to be remote. Find ways to get let's say a professional development budget. Give yourself some emotional distance from your job. Care less. Every time I tell that to a client, they somehow get like a promotion. I always tell them, like, if you care less, but I know you're still going to be doing like good work, you're probably going to get a promotion. I had a client at Amazon, and she got a raise outside of like the cycle, which is a really big deal. They only will promote or like give you a raise during certain points of the year, because it's just, but she got one out of cycle.
Well, I think you brought up a great point. When you don't have that desperate energy attached to an outcome, I believe things open up. And I think that's ultimately what's great about what you give people is like, don't be in this place of desperation that you're putting out. And financial stability is huge. If you're not feeling financially stable and you're trying to sell a product, you're going to come off like,
it doesn't feel quite right.
desperate.
And I've been there.
Yeah,
I
we
have
all
been there.
have.
I have been there. And I'm like, I really need to make this work. And versus like from a place of just like, like, I think this is a good fit for you. And like letting people come to you when they feel ready. It's like trust, it's faith. And this is like, for me specifically, this year is a nodal return. So anybody who is turning 37 in 2025, like this is a big year of like being more intentional,
Wow.
being less like checking off the list and being like, what feels right today? It's a wild statement for people like who were
We don't
born in
live
like,
that way.
like who are around this like age. But it's like also like, I have to get my math correct too, but I think it's also around like 40, 47 that happens again. I think so.
So mine will happen in like 3 years again, hopefully.
I'm just like, wait, let me do like the math correctly. Oh, 54 actually.
Okay,
Oops,
I've got time. 10 years.
54. Yeah.
Are there any specific astrological signs this year that are just going to have a standout year that you can think off top of mind that like, okay, this is like a big year for?
Well, it's a little challenging just because like your birth chart's a little bit more nuanced. Like we all have 12 signs represented in our chart. So even if you don't like see like Aries, like it is still represented in your chart like somewhere, maybe a more subtle energy. But like generally speaking, and this is not going to apply to everyone unless I'm able to look at their specific chart, but I know that like Aries and Libra friends, whether you have an Aries or Libra sun, moon, or rising, like it's been really tough over the past year and a half. Like a lot of like identity crisis, relationship drama, but this year is going to be like a lot better for them as they settle into their new identity and new ways of being in partnership.
I love
So
that.
that's going to be good for them. And then for my Virgo and Pisces friends, so if you have a Virgo, Pisces sun, moon, or rising, this year is going to allow you to just like feel more comfortable being yourself and being at ease. I think with like Virgo energy, it's like allowing yourself to relax. Like anyone who's like a Virgo sun, moon, or rising. And for Pisces sun, moon, and rising, it's like you're going to get like a little bit more of a creative spurt. And also learn like ways that they've been maybe a little delusional in parts of their lives. The last few years, there's been a lot of lessons around like, where have we been deluding ourselves? Like everything is like the dog in the house. Like everything's fine. Well, it's not fine. So that's something that we're really exploring this year too.
So Alice, what are 3 things that we all need to do this year to really make the most of the year and tap into our intuition and what's right for us this year?
So I would say the first thing is to reconnect with yourself. And that's to support your spiritual well-being. And your spiritual well-being can look like being more in community with others. It could look like spending more time outside. It could look like tending to plants. It could look like developing a yoga practice or a meditation practice. So those things are going to be very important so that you just have a stronger sense of like personal gravity, if you will, right? When things are changing in the outside world, you're feeling a little bit more like, okay, resilient about changes and embracing them and kind of like riding the waves of change. The second thing is, I mentioned before, get a creative hobby. It's going to be really good for stress relief and things
I
that
need
are
that.
tactile. It's like really like nice. It could be pottery. It could be knitting. It could be paint. It could be doodling. It could be cooking. There's just a lot of different things. Like I think spending less time on your phone, gardening.
Yes, absolutely.
That's going to be really helpful. And then the third thing is do something for your other areas of holistic like health. It could be mental health, it could be physical health, nutritional health, mental health. If you haven't seen a therapist before, this is a year to see a therapist. Sooner rather than later, because like, when people don't think that they'll need a therapist, like that's when like it's a good time to look for one because it takes a while to shop around. And like that industry, that profession is so like inundated at times. So like just if you're just like, I haven't done it yet, I think you should go see a therapist or go to a healing session, like, like whether it's like Reiki or like whatever it may be, whatever is calling at you, do something else for your health and well-being. Aside from the first one I said, which is like spiritual check-ins with yourself.
These are all great. Thank you so much. In just closing, I want to start a tradition with my guests. I have 4 principles that I feel help you stay connected to your inner power. And the first one is reflection. So I want to ask you, what is one thing you do daily to reflect, or how do you reflect?
So it's really funny because it's pretty hectic and busy right now. I don't always get to do like my morning routines of like meditating and journaling. And it's actually in those mundane moments in life where those are the moments I have to like reflect and to kind of have some of those like aha moments and to kind of be like rethink about certain things that I haven't gotten a chance to revisit. It could be washing the dishes, folding laundry, taking a shower, driving. Driving has been like a big thing because I get a lot of like, because anytime we're doing something that is like physically kind of just like mechanical, you're just like kind of like going through the motions, it allows the mind to clear. And those are really good moments of reflection. I think people really resonate with that if they haven't like gotten a mindfulness practice themselves, and also if they're just really busy. I just, to be honest, like I usually have a better daily routine, but things have been quite busy lately. So
Well, and I often tell people you don't need to reflect in silence and stillness.
Yeah.
You can do a walking meditation.
Yeah.
You can meditate, with your eyes, open and being aware of, what's around you. So the second principle I have is intention. So what is one intention you have for this year for yourself?
so many intentions. I think this year my intention is to let go.
Oh, I love that.
Just to like in line with like the forecast that I've given for 2025. Yeah, just to let go and to allow things to happen and to unfold, because it's like it can be better than you planned for.
I love that. So the third principle in the rise is simplicity. Are there ways that you adopt a more simple lifestyle if you do? And what ways do you do that? Or what way?
So, because I have a south node in Virgo, and anybody listening with like a Virgo sun or moon or rising, like they might really resonate with this as well. I can over optimize, always finding efficiencies. But sometimes it's like actually not a good idea to operate so efficiently and to have things like just so. I'm like, I packed this, I packed that, I've organized. Like sometimes it's just like, we just gotta get things done. It's not the ideal conditions. It's like, it's not the right time to do it, but it's like, let's just like get it done. So I try to simplify my life by understanding that plans can change and to just not over optimize. You can't get all the things done in a period of time, whether it's a day or a week, and just like allowing myself to have some grace.
Wonderful. And the final principle is enjoyment. So what is one thing you find joy in daily?
Spending time with my puppy, with my dog,
What are their names?
Miso and Remo.
Oh,
It's just like as I get busier, I know that they need more time. And it's also like a really nice like energy reset. So like just spending time with them, like petting them, playing with them, taking them for a walk. And then for myself, like just being able to like move my body, whether it's like walking or a workout, like those things like really bring me joy.
I love that. Thank you so much. Our time together has been so special, and I appreciate you being here. And again, thank you so much for all the support you've had in my journey. So thank you.
You're so welcome.